Once there was a man named Peter. He was a Jewish man who obeyed the Torah. Peter was called by another Jewish man named Jesus to follow him. One day on their daily journeys, they went to a town called Capernaum. Here they were met by a tax collector of the temple. People were questioning why Jesus did not pay taxes to the temple when he was a Jew. After a chat with Peter, Jesus decides to pay it. How could he pay, though, when they had no money to pay? This is where Super Jesus comes in. You see, according to Matthew, Jesus was God, so he could do miracles, including making money appear out of nowhere. Now we've all heard the stories about Jesus. He turned water into wine at a wedding, cured the blind and the deaf. He even had control over so-called demons. One story in the Bible, though, is not told as much about Jesus. This is the story of the money from the fish. Wait, what? Oh, you've never heard the story about Jesus getting money out of a fish? Well, I'm here to tell you the tale and help you see the absurdities that are in the Bible. I remember this story from adult Sunday school class years ago. The person telling the story deeply believed that this was the truth, and this was just another miracle from God. I, on the other hand, thought the story was a little off. Why would anyone care about tax when you have no money? I get the whole idea of peer pressure, but there's a limit for everyone. Peter is told by Jesus to go fishing for the money. The first fish that he catches will have the exact amount of money they need for the temple. Peter does what Jesus commands. And wouldn't you know, what he said would happen, happened. Now, if this story was written today, there's no way anyone would believe it. They would think it was just a story, or that people had gotten the details wrong. No one would come up to you and say, "I just saw a man pull money out of a fish." This is not the reality that we live in. When people claim that something lines up with what they believe, we call that confirmation bias. People believe the Bible because they are either raised to believe it is true, or they are told that it is true. As Apologia would say, "For the Bible tells me so." Just because a book claims that money came out of a fish's mouth does not mean it really happened. If this miracle really did happen, why did other historians not write about it? Why do we have to believe a book that also has talking animals, ghosts, demons, and giants in it? 85% of people who become Christians do it between the ages of 4 and 14. I wonder why that is. Could it be that their young, vulnerable state cannot tell fact from fiction? If we did not allow anyone to choose religion until they're over the age of 30, then only 4% would be Christian. There's a reason why Christianity is losing traction. We were given amazing minds to think and ask questions. We are supposed to be curious, adventurous, and willing to say that we don't know, when we don't have all the answers. Miracles are not something we have in reality. Miracles in most holy books are simply made-up tales. If you believe that Jesus could put money in a fish's mouth, then you also have to believe that Mohammed rode a horse into the heavens, or that Buddha walked on water. You cannot say all claims are not the same. Anyone who claims a miracle claims that God or Spirit somehow intervened in the physical world. Today, though, we know this is not the case. People saw the world in a very different way in the past. They did not know how the universe worked. They thought thunderstorms were caused by angry gods. Now we know they're simply a part of nature. They believed that to please the gods, for better crops, they had to sacrifice an animal or a person. Now we know that crops grow depending on nature, whether certain crops need more rain, better soil, or a different climate. People believed sickness because they had done something wrong, and not because we have germs that make us sick. I'm glad to live in a time of science and exploration. I'm glad that if I have a question, I can ask it. And if we don't know, we can simply say we don't know. This is what makes life worth living. The drive to be curious and learn more. To solve some of life's greatest mysteries, or to learn more by trying. We have the ability to be so much more in the one life we have. Don't be afraid to live it. I hope you liked my video today. And remember, only you can break out of the bubble and start thinking for yourself.